NIU, Kent State University's Memorial Athletic and Convocation Center for this afternoon's Mid-American Conference Women's Gymnastics Competition between the visiting Northern Illinois University Huskies and your Kent State Golden Flashes. Fans, please direct your attention to the lobby of the entrance, and let's welcome the Huskies from Northern Illinois. And now, fans, let's meet the Huskies. A freshman from Frisco, Texas, Alana Wallace. A senior from Yorktown, Virginia, Samantha Nichols. A junior from Versailles, Kentucky, Dawson Silly. A junior from Centerville, Ohio, Savannah West. A freshman from Kokomo, Indiana, McKenna Brooks. A sophomore from Nashville, Tennessee, Maria King. A junior from Suwanee, Georgia, Michaela Brown. A senior from Frankfort, Illinois, Jocelyn Harbeck. A sophomore from Indianapolis, Indiana, Drake White. A sophomore from Fond du Lac, Wisconsin, Audrey Brenner. A freshman from Tinley Park, Illinois, Elizabeth Hansen. A junior from Paulsville, Washington, Ashley Lee. A freshman from Frankfort, Illinois, Avery Rip. And a freshman from Henderson, Nevada, Desiree Boykin. The Huskies are coached by Ian Teague, assisted by Chris Weiss, Mike Regula, athletic trainers Megan Reed, and their student manager is Hannah Bird. Ladies and gentlemen, the Northern Illinois Huskies. Get on your feet, it's time to meet your Kent State Golden Flashes. A junior from Chesterfield, Michigan, Danny Fuertes. A junior from Seattle, Washington, Nene Alvey. A senior from Quakertown, Pennsylvania, Kennedy Bowen. A junior from Cleveland, Ohio, Grace Canaris. A freshman from Corona, California, Ashlyn Pearson. A freshman from Sarasota, Florida, Taylor Ashambo. A sophomore from Middleton, Massachusetts, Isabella Marks. A junior from Roswell, Georgia, Ashley Gordon. A sophomore from Morgantown, West Virginia, Sophia Malco. A senior from Westerville, Ohio, Avery Thompson. Jersey big man. A sophomore from Gallipolis, Ohio, Allie Call. A freshman from Pelham, Alabama, Lana Max. A senior from Milton, Georgia, Charlie Bader. A sophomore from Leeds, Southern Missouri, Gabriela Espinoza. A sophomore from Grand Ledge, Michigan, Annika Roast. And a junior from Stowe, Ohio, Kaylee Norton. The Golden Flags are coached by Bryce Biggin, assisted by Austin Poe and Tim Lewandowski, and volunteer assistant Jose Velez. Ladies and gentlemen, your Penn State Golden Flashes. Ladies and gentlemen, this time we ask you to please rise, and gentlemen, please remove your hats as we honor our veterans and our country with the playing and singing of our national anthem being performed this afternoon by Penn State assistant coach Tim Lewandowski.
Welcome to 1025 Richmond Drive on the campus of Kent State University, and welcome to the warm confines of this 75-year-old facility, the Memorial Athletic and Convocation Center. This afternoon, the 2026 Mid-American Conference Gymnastics season springs into action. The Kent State Golden Flashes and the Northern Illinois Huskies meet in the season opener. I once again appointed head coach Nita Teague, again the fourth in program history, and she succeeds the retired Sam Moriali. And Coach Teague is focused on discipline and productive work in the gym to bring this program, the Husky program, back to its 2019 status where it won the MAC. However, this is the final year that the Huskies will be competing in the MAC conference, as they will be making a transition to the Mountain West Conference. I mentioned 8 new faces on the Husky roster this year. And Shannon, new faces might not be a bad thing, but an opportunity for gymnasts to really step up and make a difference.
Right. They bring in enthusiasm and excitement when they are new to the program, and every athlete has something special and unique to offer to the team. And so we'll look to see what Northern Illinois brings to the table today, and really excited to see some of the standouts like Nina Teague is looking at for Northern Illinois, which is Kiera O'Shea. She is an all-MAC performer, and she will be looking to lead the team this afternoon.
Yeah, O'Shea is a 2-time NCAA regional qualifier, and she has been a consistent performer for the Huskies, competing 7 times in the all-around in 25, and competed in every single meet for the Huskies on vault and beam.
Yeah, her accomplishments are really the fruits of her labor in the gym. And what we see with these talented athletes is that they put the work in the off season and in the fall when they come into their programs. and what their work ethic in the gym is what really shows up on competition day.
So NIU is a preseason pick to finish 7th in the Mid-American Conference, and the Huskies will look to prove the prognosticators wrong. In head-to-head competition since 2010, the Golden Flashes own an 11-6 advantage over the Huskies. At the Mack Center, the Huskies are 1-7 since 2010. Shannon, talk a little bit from your perspective as a former gymnast. This is a very difficult place to come in as a visiting team to win.
It is. That home field advantage is real because the gymnasts that are competing for Kent State are comfortable on this equipment. This is the equipment that...
Up first for the Golden Flashes on ball, Sophia Balco.
So here is Sophia Balco to start things off for Kent State in this 2026 season as they start their journey to a three-peat in the MAC.
She opens this meet with the Yurchenko full, a little bit low on the landing, had to take a hop forward.
Yeah, definitely not the vault that Sophia would want to start with, as Shannon had mentioned, a little low on the landing, had to jump forward to maintain her balance. We'll now head on over to the bars where we'll see Elizabeth Ponson for Northern Illinois. Ponson, a freshman out of Tinley Park, Illinois.
Leading off for the Huskies on bars, Elizabeth Ponson.
You can imagine Sophia Balco, the vaulter for Kent State. A little bit of pressure perhaps in that first vault of the season.
Elizabeth opens on the high bar with a giant full right into a ginger, but just missed her catch there. She will have to take a fall, which is an automatic 5/10 deduction.
Shannon, is it natural, I suppose, maybe to have a little bit of nerves as you're the leadoff vaulter or bar performer?
For sure. I think gymnastics is so much a mental sport, and so really you have to be in the right mindset. And we got to talk to head coach Bryce Biggin before today's meet, and he explained that if these gymnasts go out and do what they're capable of and just stay calm and in control, they're going to be great today. Oh, she put her hands down on that half in, half out dismount.
So Ponson, like Balco, would like to have that performance back, but you have to quickly forget it. Here's Zoe Rankin now over on the vault for the Golden Flashes. Rankin, an academic all-MAC team selection in 25. Her career high in this event is a 9.9, and that occurring in the MAC championships back in 2024.
So he does the same. Yurchenko laid out full twist. Nice height off the table, good landing, and that's a solid vault for her.
Yeah, Shannon, what is the key then to getting that good height off the table?
Yeah, it takes a good block in your shoulders. So when you hit the table, you want to look for a good body position, nice and tight, and have a lot of energy where that lift can be enough to propel you up. And she does a full twist in the air before she lands, and so being able to be high enough to spot the landing before you have to stick that landing.
So Maria King would be next for the Huskies on bars. King, the sophomore out of Nashville, Tennessee, competed twice last year in this event with a career high or season high of 9.5. Kent State again, 6-0 last season. They come into 26 with 8 seniors on the roster, and those 8 seniors provide great leadership, great depth, experience, and the ability to overcome adversity. When you look at the Golden Flashes, they go 6-0 in MAC competition last year, and they did so having to overcome a number of injuries.
Next up on bars for Northern Illinois, Maria King.
So here is Maria King. Maria looking to pick up her teammate here.
Yeah, that was a beautiful ginger for her release move on the high bar. Into a shoot over, nice handstand. Both teams have the opportunity to put their best 6 gymnasts on each event, and then they get to throw out the lowest score. So they're looking, oh, she let go early on that dismount, that double back tuck dismount, and did not make that landing. So you're looking to throw out the lowest score. Thought that was going to be a good comeback for them, but needed a stronger dismount.
So here's Avery Thompson for the Golden Flashes. We go back over to vault, the senior out of Westerville, Ohio. Thompson, another academic All-MAC for the Golden Flashes.
Great vault for her. She also had good height off the table. Took one step back, but she had really good distance between the table and her landing there.
Well, Thompson's career high in the vault is a 9.8. That occurring last year at the MAC Championships. So she has worked her way into the starting lineup once again. The Golden Flashes, when you look at the all-academic MAC program, Kent State landed the most student athletes on that list from 2025.
Yeah, you see a lot of students here doing really well, both in the classroom and in the gym. And I think that mostly speaks to their work ethic. They're athletes that are really dedicated not only to their team, but to their academics, which is why you're in college. So love to see that student part of student athlete.
Avery Riff would be next for Northern Illinois. Riff, a freshman out of Frankfort, Illinois. And again, a number of freshmen on this Huskies team, 7 freshmen and 8 new faces, as we said in the opening, for the Huskies. And second-year coach Nita Teague. Preseason coach Teague excited about her Huskies, and the press conference later in 2025. A lot of potential, a lot of upside with the freshmen coming in. And of course, she's got 3 seniors on this team, led by Kiera O'Shea. And that leadership is important when you have such a younger class coming in, a high number of those in the freshman class. I believe, Shannon, we have a conference on the bars for the performance of Maria King.
Yes, when the judges are more than 2/10 off, they will take a moment to see where the differences were between their scoring. And so it looks like they're finishing that up, and we'll get ready to start again in a moment.
So they get that all squared away. Again, it would be Avery Riff, the freshman. And in the first 2 performances on bar, the Huskies really struggling, having 2 falls and 2 touchdowns, if you will, on the dismount. The remaining lineup for the Huskies would be Drake White, followed by the freshman Desiree Boykin and the transfer Ashley League. The Huskies will have 2 exhibitions, McKenna Brooks and Audrey Brenner. And we're set on bars. Here's Avery Riff.
Oh, another miss on the release move. So she got a little bit too far away from that high bar and was not able to make the catch. She's going to chalk up and try to regroup here to finish the rest of her routine.
She chalks up. The judges over on bars is Sarah McCoy and Kurumi Norasaki. On vault, Kim Silaway and Christina Tejan.
Nice handstand on that transition from the high bar to the low bar. Strong Giants, double layout dismount, and a very nice stuck landing. So that bar routine has a lot of potential for a good score if she can hold on to that release move.
Next up in the ball for the Golden Flashes, Ashley Morgan.
Here is Ashley Morgan now for Kent State on the vault.
Ashley does the same vault, laid out your Chenko full twist. That was a great landing for Ashley.
Yeah, we'll see. Will the judges score that? Ashley's career high in this event, a 9.8, occurring March 1st of 2024. That was down, I believe, in Columbus at the All-Ohio meet.
Nice execution in the air. She's got great form. really fit this year. She looks like she's coming into this season very strong.
Yeah, we had a moment, as Shannon mentioned a few moments ago, to talk with Bryce Biggin, and I asked him, was there any surprises in how well the team was when they came into camp? And he seemed that all of the girls really came into camp ready to compete with the goal of not only another MAC championship, but you want to win the MAC championships, one-day tournament at the end of the season, and then qualify NCAA regionals and even above. And Kent State with some hands in the air as the score is posted.
Yeah, this vault comes from a 9.95 start value, so not a 10. So it looks like she's going to be really close to that. Talking about the off season, this is a sport that the athletes have to train all year round. And so if you were to go home for summer break from school and not do a lot of training in the summertime, you're not going to be ready for the workload your body needs to handle the busy gymnastics season.
Here's Drake White, the sophomore out of Indianapolis.
Starts with a clear hip, right into a ginger. Lost a little bit of momentum there. She's going to have to take an extra swing.
White competed 8 times last season in bars.
Shoot over to a handstand on the low bar. Two strong giants into the dismount, double layout, good landing. But again, she lost some momentum after that release move. She's going to have to keep moving in that routine to keep that swing going.
Next up in the ball for the Golden Flashes, Jersey Bingman.
Here's the sophomore out of Pequosin, Virginia, Jersey Bingman.
Beautiful.
Well done.
That's the stick that they were looking for. Holding that position, that landing position, without moving your feet for 2 full seconds shows that the judges show that the athlete is in control.
Well done by the sophomore Bingman. Take another look at it down the runway. Good height off the table. Stuck landing. That's what Coach Bryce Biggin is looking for out of all of his vaulters in Kent State. How important is it to get into that rhythm, Shannon? We talk about, in basketball and baseball, athletes get into a rhythm.
It is really contagious because you feed off of your teammates, and kind of what they do is sets you up for success. So as you see these gymnasts in the lineup, you're going to see them get progressively better and better. And when you follow an athlete that competes well, it makes your job that much easier.
So a gymnast to watch for the Huskies is Desiree Boykin, as Kent State will applaud the score being posted for the Jersey Bingman vault. I don't know if we're going to see it or not if they spin that around our way. So Morgan on her vault, a 9.8, that ties a career high for Ashley Morgan. Can't quite see the score. It'll be posted on the scoreboard. But Desiree Boykin, huge upside for this freshman out of Henderson, Nevada. Coach Teague has some high expectations for the young lady.
Step on bars for the Huskies, Desiree Boykin.
Desiree starts her routine on the low bar as opposed to everybody else before her. Good transition up to the high bar and back down, a pack salto. Those 2 release moves in a row give her some bonus to get to the 10-0 start value. Nice handstands. Unique dismount, twisting 1.5. 1 step on her landing, but that's a complete routine for NIU.
So Desiree Boykin from Henderson, Nevada, turning in a nice performance on the bars for the Huskies, and they need that. If for anything else, just confidence. And here's Charlie Boehner for the Golden Flashes.
Nice.
Another stuck landing.
Yeah, Charlie's a veteran on this team, and that's a reason that they put her last in that lineup. Great job.
Boehner in the 25 season, named to the All-Max second team on vault. Her career high is a 9.9. Again, that was at the MAC Championships in 24. And also a 9.9 while she was at Temple. Again, she transferred to Kent State after that 23 season.
Yeah, and that's going to be a good score that's going to allow Kent State to throw out that very first score from Sophia Balco. They're going to look to improve upon that 9.5, and that will definitely do that.
We've talked about the legacy here at Kent State, the tradition of excellence and Mid-American Conference championships and NCAA regional appearances, and Charlie really believes that the Golden Flashes have what it takes this year to not only win the MAC again, win the MAC championships, but advance as a team to the NCAA regionals because of its depth and its work ethic. And that work ethic really starts at the top with head coach Bryce Biggin. And Shannon, you know, as a former gymnast here, when you come to Kent State, you understand those expectations.
Yes, you do. I think Bryce does a great job of both demanding excellence and also believing in the athletes, maybe even more so when they do themselves. So there are times as an athlete when obviously the practices get hard, you might struggle a little bit, but his confidence in the athletes that he chooses to come here is exceptional, and so his belief in the athletes really comes through and carries the team.
Yeah, and one of the things that Bryce looks for is not just the ability of the athlete, but how do they perform in the classroom, even at the high school level? How do they balance their schedule between training and family and the classroom?
Yeah, that's really a good indicator of everything, right? Because if you have a student that's dedicated to everything, they're going to put that work into whatever it is that's in front of them. It might be a challenge in the gym or it might be a challenge in the classroom, but those often go hand in hand.
So up next, the final competitor on bars will be Ashley League. Again, the D3 transfer to NIU. She calls home Poulsbo, Washington.
Up next on bars for Northern Illinois, Ashley Lee.
She's got nice lines, beautiful handstands. That was the Takachev. Great release move. She's back up to the high bar. We see that good handstand. Toe to hand. Toe pitch half dismount. Very unique. You don't get to see that very often, but she can see the ground before she lands on it, so it's nice to be able to spot that landing.
A very nice performance by the newest of the Huskies, League. So Maya Migliore on vault for the Golden Flashes. And again, this is an exhibition for Maya.
Yeah, but she definitely has the potential to make this lineup. So she's going to do this vault, laid out Yurchenko, full twist, a little bit of a hop back, but very much in control.
Yeah, Migliore, not a stranger to success on the vault. She does have a career high of 9.9. And that was that tremendous vaulting team for the Golden Flashes back in 24.
I remember seeing them at the MAC Championships in 24, and that was a team that broke the school record on the vault, and just vault after vault, they stuck those landings, and one built off the other and ended up scoring a 49.5, I believe, which broke the record of when I was on the team back in the 90s. So that was a record that stood for almost 30 years.
You are correct. It was 49.5
49.5
on vault, and a tremendous vaulting team. Again, as Shannon just alluded to in 24, Kent State looking even perhaps better at that this season. You know, some of the gymnasts we talked about, you know, what does it take, Shannon, to be a really good teammate in gymnastics? And it's obviously bringing your best day in and day out and trying to get at least 1% better every day.
Yeah, a little bit at a time, right? You're not going to see big jumps in improvement. It's got to be consistent work and consistent effort over time.
So this is McKenna Brooks.
McKenna's got some nice release moves, really good handstand position, beautiful toe point. Strong Giants, double layout dismount. A little bit of a step on her landing, but very nice height.
So the last two bar performers for the Huskies, well, actually the last three, I would say Desiree Boykin, Ashley League, and McKenna Brooks. Shannon looking very comfortable on bars over there.
Yes, and I think they get some of those nerves, those early nerves worked out. They're going to be just fine on that event.
This is Allie Call now for Kent.
Great. Allie's first time competing that laid out Yurchenko full twist for Kent State. A little bit over to the left side. She's got to stay within those two white lines on the landing mat.
Again, Allie Call, the sophomore out of Gallipolis, Ohio. And good to see Allie in the lineup, even as an exhibition here in the season opener, the MAC opener against the Huskies of NIU. We'll see Audrey Brenner next.
We saw great depth from Kent State on the vault. They've obviously got 8 consistent Yurchenko full twists that they can put in that lineup, and even some more after that. You can only have 2 exhibitions per event, so they've got a very deep lineup on vault.
So Audrey Brenner, the sophomore out of Fond du Lac, Wisconsin, in an exhibition again for the Huskies. Brenner trying to break into that bars lineup. Did not see any action last year in the bars lineup.
Nice clear hip right into a Tkachev. Opened up a little early on that clear hip and arched over. Has to take a fall. These athletes have a little bit of time to re-chalk and remount the apparatus before their time is up. So she's trying to regroup here, finish the rest of her bar routine.
Again, Brenner trying to break into this Huskies lineup. And again, an opportunity for so many gymnasts for NIU to step up, make a huge difference in this 26th season. A rough start here at the MAC Center against the defending Mid-American Conference regular season champions.
Finished with a nice double layout dismount. What I saw from them was they had a lot of difficulty. They have the connections that they need to make, just a matter of, you know, obviously staying on the apparatus, and that'll make a big difference in their team score on bars.
Shannon, we talked a little bit about what it takes to be a great teammate and coming in every day of practice and giving it your all. But when you're practicing, when you're training for gymnastics, you're training like you're going to compete. And as Coach Biggin said earlier today to both of us, he's not asking of his gymnasts anything more during the meet than what they do in practice.
Yeah, behind that wall over there where the Kent State team practices, he expects them to walk into the gym every day as if it's a meet day. So they may not be doing the quantity of numbers that you might have seen in the past, but the quality is what's most important. So making sure that every time they take a turn, every time that they do a repetition, that it is done with excellence.
So as we mentioned at the top, head coach Bryce Biggin a couple of weeks ago announced his retirement at the end of the 2026 season. Coach Biggin comes into today with 453 career victories. That is first all-time at Kent State and second in the Mid-American Conference. And KSU Athletic Director Randall Richmond may have said it best when he said, Coach Biggin, he's built something special here at Kent State. His impact extends far beyond the 453 wins and countless championships. He has shaped the lives of hundreds of student athletes and elevated our program to unbelievable heights.
So it is a legacy. And what we were talking about before was these especially these seniors that Kent State has. So you've got Charlie Boehner, she's a second-team All-MAC. You've got Kennedy Bowen, you've got Avery Compson, Emma Massey, Maya Miglior, Zoe Rankin, Nastia Rubintaya, who's a second-team All-MAC as well. And they've got also Heidi Schultz, who has been a staple of this team for the last 4 years. So that senior dynamic is really what is driving this 2025-26 season.
And then you have a couple of juniors, Shannon, that are coming off of injuries, Nene Alvin and Danny Fortes, who bring a lot of strength to this lineup. Grace Newreck, Ashley Morgan, Kaylee Norton, and Gabby Riley. But you look at those juniors, it's going to be Alvin, Fortes, and Riley, at least early on. We'll see how the season unfolds, but they will carry some big scores for Kent State.
For sure. I've really enjoyed watching them kind of traverse through some injuries and some things like that, but they have potential to do, none of them are specialists, so they all compete in 2, 3, or 4 events. I've especially enjoyed watching Gabby Riley out of Illinois. She comes in to a program where she was a walk-on, and she worked really, really hard, and she got into the lineup in that 24 season and 25 season as well, so she'll be fun to watch this year.
And again, of course, the sophomore, Sophia Balco, tremendous vaulter. And interesting, Sophia, her sophomore year of high school, actually had an injury which required like immediate surgery. She competes with 2 screws in her lower leg.
Wow.
5.
Yeah, that's exciting.
So let's take a look at rotation number 1 scores. Kent State first on the vault. Zoe Rankin score of 9.7. Avery Compson at 9.725. Morgan at 9.8. Bingman at 9.875. And Boehner with a 9.85. NIU over at the bars. King with a 9. Riff with an 8.875. White with a 9.1. Boykin with a 9.475. And League with a 9.75. And the Golden Flashes, after 1 rotation, really a dominating lead at this point, 48.95 to 46.2. But as Coach Bryce Biggins said earlier today, this Kent State team, if they just come out and perform to their potential and worry about the business that they have to take care of, it'll be a tough team to beat here in the MAC.
Right, there's 4 different apparatus. So for NIU, they have to forget about what happened on the uneven bars and head over to the vault and get aggressive and try to just start this all over again.
Let's take a look, Shannon, at the lineups for the second rotation.
Home meet should count. So Bryce is very passionate specifically about the event of bars, and he wants to see this team kick off with a good start today, making sure that they have a good score to count towards the regional qualifying score.
Yeah, and again, I think in rotation number 1, we'll take here a quick look at Nickel on vault.
Yep, laid out Yurchenko full twist, big hop back, but right down the center. Good block off the table and good height.
Shannon, I wonder if the impetus for that conversation with Coach Biggin and the judges over on the bars is some of the difficulty they had in coming to terms on scores for NIU. There was a couple of meetings over there because perhaps the difference in the scores was greater than 0.2. And so here is Danny Fortes.
Danny's a great lead off for this team. She just did a giant full right into a Tkachev. Huge height over the bar. Good transition to the low bar. Excellent handstand position.
Solid for Danny thus far.
Giant full double tuck dismount. Little hop on the landing, but a big smile. She's happy with that lead off routine on bars.
This is a very strong bars team for the Golden Flashes. Take another look at it. Just that small hop forward. Danny's all smiles, loving it. Jocelyn Harbeck now, NIU on vault. Harbeck competed in every meet last season in this event. Her NQS 9.75 last year.
She's aggressive on the runway. Nice round off entry. Yurchenko full. 1 step back with her right foot.
So Harbeck, the senior, again, one of those seniors that Coach Teague is looking for to lead this Huskies throughout the season. Consistent vaulter for the Huskies. Teague embraces her just off the exercise mat. Over on bars we go, Sophia Balco. Balco's career high, 9.725, that occurring March 9th of 25. Talk to Sophia a little bit about, does she feel any pressure? She said pressure is a privilege.
Beautiful. That was a great connection. She just did 2 release moves in a row, giving her some of the bonus she needs to get a 10-0 start value. Love her handstand, her toe point. Great clear hip.
Wonderful.
Good dismount.
Beautiful.
That's exciting.
Sophia Balco, the sophomore out of Morgantown, West Virginia, turns in a terrific performance for the Golden Flashes on bars. Take a look at the dismount here. Stuck landing. Kent State rolling on bars. This is Dawson Salee.
Nice landing for Dawson. That was a beautiful Yurchenko full.
She loves it.
Happy dance down there.
So NIU with 2 terrific vaults back to back. Jocelyn Harbeck, the senior, and Dawson Salee, the junior. Salee out of Versailles, Kentucky. Next for Kent State will be Amaya Miglior over on bars. As I don't think, Shannon, they posted the score yet.
We don't have a score yet for Sophia Balco.
So Miglior, 9.825, career high for Maya. That occurring just a little more than a year ago.
Beautiful blind change, right into her release move, right into her shoot over. With that handstand, toe point, feet together, double layout dismount.
Well
oh,
done.
she worked for it but got the stick.
You know, Maya's had some injuries in her career. She talked a little bit about it, and she said, Kent State, its coaching staff, Bryce Biggin, looked past her ability as a gymnast and saw her potential
Saw her
at that time.
and believed in her, absolutely.
Yep. So this is Audrey Brenner.
Great height in the air. Wasn't quite ready for the landing. I saw a little too much knee bend on her landing, but she did stick it. Those are the landings that every detail counts.
So Brenner again competing in every meet and vault last season, 9.75 NQS for her. Coach Teague likes it. Brenner likes it. Back over to the bars. This will be Isabella Marks. Marks' career high, 9.775 against Bowling Green last March.
Isabella Marks.
And she tied that 2 weeks later down in Columbus at Ohio State. Here she is in the season opener.
Nice back salto to the low bar. Good handstand position. Wow, some beautiful big dismounts from Kent State on bars.
Isabella Marks, the sophomore out of Middleton, Massachusetts. 10 hours or so from home. Calling Kent State home for the moment. Kent State rolling on bars. Take another look at Marks' release. Small hop there at the end. Bryce Biggin loves it.
I really enjoy it when they start that dismount. They're powerful giants into that, how high they get in the air on those double layouts are beautiful.
This is Drake White.
Drake landed a little bit short there. Chest was down, had to take a hop forward. It's hard on the ankles.
So Kent State with 2 swingers left and 2 great bar performers, and Nastya Runitskaya followed by Charlie Boehner.
Yeah, and these 2 gymnasts are fantastic on this event, but they also have the confidence of having 4 solid bar routines in front of them. So it takes the pressure off. They can get up there and swing their routines the way they know how. This is going to be an excellent rotation for Kent State on bars.
Nastya's career high 9.925, that occurring against Bowling Green 17th of March a couple of years ago, 2024. She's a second team All-MAC selection on this event.
Yeah, she's so strong up there, but she also swings well and gets huge height on her release move. There we saw it. Good handstand to attack salto on the low bar. Beautiful. She's really been working on the details of her form, keeping those ankles and feet tight together. Good handstands. Strong giants. Double layout dismount. Inched forward there, 2 little steps at the end, but she swings so well, so confidently. That's a good routine for Kent.
Here's Alana Wallace now for the Huskies to round things out on the competition and for the Huskies on vault. Wallace, the junior out of Centerville, Ohio.
Another Yurchenko full. That had probably the nicest height of that lineup. Really good pop off the table. 1 step on her landing.
You know, Nastya, asking her what skill is she most proud of developing. She talked about the bars routine and the pack salto. It's something that, like, mentally she had to get through that process in order to perfect it. So she's very proud of that skill, being able to perform it.
Yeah, she's one of the taller gymnasts on the team. She's got long legs, and so when you do that skill, you're doing an entire somersault and catching the low bar. So your feet have to really work hard with your core to hold those feet up off the ground, and that's what she's worked the most on.
So here's Charlie Boehner with a career high of 9.9, occurring twice in her career, both at Kent State in consecutive seasons.
She's a beautiful gymnast to watch on this event.
Boehner.
Excellent. Yeah, her height, her amplitude, and her form. Her feet are glued together. Beautiful toe point. Difficult to stalter into a double tuck and step back on her dismount. But across the board, those were solid routines for Kent State on bars.
Kent appears to be very methodical and well practiced on bars.
And that's what Coach Bryce Biggin was asking for today. He was asking for those athletes to not rush their routines, be patient, be slow even, and in control, and that's what those girls did.
Here's Michaela Brown in exhibition for the Huskies over on vault, the junior out of Sewanee, Georgia.
Yurchenko full. She was a little bit crooked on the table, which propelled her off to the left side, so past that left line.
So Brown competing last year 3 times on vault. We'll go back over now to the barns. I believe Kent State with 2 exhibitions. We'll see the freshman Taylor Archambault.
This is an athlete that you were excited about in their blue and gold demonstration meet earlier in December.
Yes. Yeah, performed very well. I felt like she didn't perform like a freshman. She was very comfortable here at the MAC Center.
Great.
Next up on bars for the Golden Flashes, Taylor.
So Taylor, a freshman out of Sarasota, Florida. She's a level 10 gymnast.
Wow. Nice clear hip and a huge Tkachev, so far away from that high bar that she didn't quite get the catch there.
So Taylor will read chalk, and you can blame that on the announcer. That is the announcer jinx, if I ever heard one.
As a freshman, she's got some time to get the nerves out. This will probably become a great event for her.
A little bit different than the blue gold meet. Looking confident right now.
Nice handstand. Swings well on her giants. Double tuck dismount.
Well done.
Plenty of time in the air to spot her landing and stick it.
And we're going to see another freshman in Ashland Werner. Freshman out of Virginia Beach, Lansdowne High School. So Shannon, as we're waiting here, let me ask you, when you were a gymnast, how did you prepare for meets? I was reading some notes from the other gymnasts and how they prepared for meets. How did you do it?
Probably a lot of routines and rituals, right? You like to eat the same things and get ready the same way, and just really dig into the confidence that you have from your training and from all of your years of experience in the sport. And so for me, it was just a day to come out and have fun. So really enjoyed competing, especially here in the Mac Center at home meets, and really enjoyed the teammates and the camaraderie that we had and that the athletes still have today under Bryce's legacy here.
See, Coach Bryce and Coach Lewandowski and Coach Phobes, we missed the memo on the Hawaiian shirt. Jose has got the Hawaiian shirt on. Somehow I missed that memo.
Well, I think I saw a stack of them at the front door. The first couple hundred people got free Kent State Hawaiian shirts, which was something I didn't know I needed.
I don't know if I need one.
Ashland Werner.
Here's the freshman, Ashland Werner.
Woke up to 3 inches of snow on the ground, so it's not feeling very tropical outside. Another huge release move. Some of these girls are getting so much height in the air and just really hard to find the bar there at the end.
So Werner will chalk back up, get back on the bars, and finish things out for the Golden Flashes. The Huskies will move over to the floor in rotation 3. The Golden Flashes, I'm looking forward to this beam team for Kent State. So good last year.
For sure, it's become a highlight of Kent State gymnastics. Strong handstand, good giants. Difficult dismount. That's a dismount that she cannot see the mat before she lands on it, so it's hard to make that
Ladies and
step.
gentlemen, that concludes competition in our second rotation this afternoon.
Kent State with a commanding 3+ point lead over the Huskies of Northern Illinois. 2 rotations left. Golden Flashes 97.775. The Huskies 94.675. Kent State looking pretty strong here after 2 rotations. Well, the Golden Flashes had landed 11 student athletes on the All-MAC academic team. Nene Alvin, the sophomore, junior now, majoring in cybersecurity. Charlie Boehner in public health. Avery Compson, a major in middle childhood education. Emma Massey, a junior in public health, senior now. Maya Miglior in exercise science. Zoe Rankin in exercise science. Again, these are Golden Flashes named to the All-MAC academic team. The Now we are halfway through this Mid-American Conference meet. The Golden Flashes again in control, 97-775 to 94-675. Kent State with a strong beam team. The judges over there will be Sarah McCoy and Christina Tahan. Floor exercise judges will be Kim Silaway, who, by the way, is the meet judge. Again, these are all national ranking judges. And then Kurumi Norisaki also will join Kim Silaway over on floor exercise. Kent State begin to compete.
That's where he loves to stand on this event. He'll stand at the very end of the balance beam and just really get that front and center look at the girls in their routines here. This is Zoe Rankin starting off for Kent State. She's a veteran on this event. She's got a solid routine, great gymnastics, great dance, looking to kick off this event for the Golden Flashes. Backhand spring layout step out. So solid. Switch leap into straddle quarter, showing 180-degree split. A hitch kick into a side aerial. That connection gives her another 10th of bonus.
It's always looking very confident.
It's the required full turn. Confident on this routine today. Gainer pike off the end.
What a great start for Kent State. Zoe Rankin, the senior.
Excellent lead off for the Golden Flashes.
Zoe giving a shout out, if you will, to Mike Rizzuto, her coach back home. Very influential in her life and in her gymnastics life. So this is Avery Riff now for the Huskies on floor.
Opens with a front double full.
Riff showing that personality on floor in her dance. Riff, again, only a freshman out of Frankfort, Illinois. One of 7 on this Husky team. A lot of dance element in this routine.
Round off 1.5 into a punch front layout.
Avery Riff looking to give the Huskies a good score to start off this floor team.
Looks like we're going to have maybe a judges conference on this, the very first beam routine for Kent State. Discrepancy in their starting
Coach
value.
Yeah. Bryce Biggin, head coach for the Golden Flashes, shaking his head as the judges again will get together. And again, this is Sarah McCoy and Christina Tahan, the judges for the beam competition.
They're 2.5 tenths apart on the score, and they're a tenth apart on their start values, so they have to get a little bit closer on the same page.
So we can see one of the judges, they turned the score around. Shannon, I don't know if that's correct, 975? That may be adjusted as the conference at the beam is now over. The judges will go back to their scorer's table. So they've come to some type of agreement. Next for Kent State will be Maya Miglior.
Some of the difficult part about gymnastics is the subjectivity of the judges. So you can do what feels like can be a great routine, and it might not be the best score that you've ever gotten from that event.
And Zoe Rankin, I felt, with a really great routine for the Kent State to lead off on beam. So here's Maya with a career high of 9.775 in this competition. Again, Maya in academic all-MAC team selection. Last season appeared in all 12 meets for the Golden Flashes.
Maya's a beautiful gymnast to watch on balance beam. She's got great toe point, beautiful dance. Backhand spring layout, step out. She made that look easy. Floated up in the air. Nice front toss. Takes a lot of power to do that front somersault and land on a 4-inch wide beam. Maya's moving well up there, getting ready for her dismount. Punch front full, stuck landing. 2 for 2 for Kent State.
Maya Miglior with a tremendous beam performance for the Golden Flashes. We'll take a look at the dismount. Stuck it. Austin Phobes enjoys it. Back to floor. This is Jocelyn Harback. Harback competing only 4 times last season on floor. And again, she's a senior out of Frankfort, Illinois.
Opens with a 1.5 to a back tuck.
Harbeck and Riff both attending the same high school there in Frankfort, Illinois. Of course, Riff, the freshman, and Harbeck, the senior, on this NIU squad.
Yeah, sometimes you'll see gymnasts who come from the same club join the same college team, so they've been used to being teammates for a long time. Second pass was a front to a double back pike. Good power.
So Riff earning a 9.675 on floor for NIU. Miglior's beam score at 9.775. Here's Danny Fortes.
Danny does a beautiful press handstand mount. Very difficult. Showing good strength and balance.
Danny's so fun to watch in this competition. 3 times she's earned a 9.875.
Yeah, she's very aggressive on the balance beam, which you'll see in her tumbling coming up right here. She does a triple series, backhand spring, layout, step out.
And look at that smile, because Danny, after 1 meet last year, went down for the season with an injury.
This is where she shines.
Danny named as a Mid-American Conference preseason gymnast to watch.
Nice switch leg leap into a split jump. Texas found as a punch front full. One step forward, but another solid routine for Kent State on balance beam.
Alana Wallace will be next for Northern Illinois over on the floor. Alana Wallace, again a freshman out of Frisco, Texas. Yeah, Shannon had mentioned about 3 inches of snow earlier. Frisco, Texas, I'm sure a little warmer than it is here. Zoe Rankin, again, her score on beam for the Golden Flashes, 9.675. Migliore, 9.775. And we are still waiting, I believe, for the score for, is it Harbeck? Jocelyn Harbeck's performance on floor for Northern Illinois.
Those are coming in now.
Coach Bryce waiting eagerly for the scores and giving a little bit of coaching advice as well down here in front of us on beam. On the other end of the beam, Austin Phobes, assistant coach for the Golden Flashes. Now here's Alana Wallace.
Harbeck's score was a 9.575. With the double layout. Score of 9.65 for Danny Fuertes on beam. I think that's a little low.
It is a little low, and I think they might have a little bit of trouble with the scoreboard over there as they just did replace it. Let's see what, yeah, I felt 9.65 or 9.065 was low. 9.65 is what they did give Danny Fuertes. I agree, Shannon, maybe a little low. And the judges are right in front of the beam. We are not positioned as they are. Next will be Gabby Riley for the Golden Flashes. Gabby, the junior out of Cary, Illinois, a career high of 9.875 in this event. At the MAC Championships last season, she did finish, beg your pardon, that's vault. She finished second in vault at the MAC Championships. She did appear in all 12 meets on beam last year for Kent State.
Yeah, she's very consistent up there. Maybe does the back handspring layout, step out. Very confident. I've enjoyed watching her confidence grow, especially on this event over her years at Kent. Beautiful leaps, showing that 180-degree split. A little bit short on that split full. wave finish. So just found is a gainer full off the side. Stuck landing. Kent State is looking really solid on beam today.
Gabby Riley, always one to compete, as many of these gymnasts are at the highest level. When asked what kind of motivates her, Shannon, to compete at that level week in and week out, and she understands, as many of these gymnasts do, she's very fortunate to be in this position to compete in gymnastics at the collegiate level. Obviously not everybody can do that, so Gabby Riley very grateful for that opportunity and the gifts that she has athletically.
Yeah, gymnastics is a sport that after you're about 16, 17 years old, you're considered over the hill. So for a gymnast to be able to continue in college, and especially here at Kent State, where they continue to learn skills and get better every year, not just kind of wait out their college careers. It's really fun to see these athletes thriving for so long.
This, I believe, is Samantha Nickel.
Yeah, she follows Alana Wallace, who scored a 9.725 on her powerful floor routine.
So Nickel, the senior out of Yorktown, Virginia.
Punch front layout into a Rudy. That's a 1.5 twist.
Last year in this event, Nickel with an NQS of 9.715. Season high of 9.775 against Southeast Missouri. I believe that was last February. And we will have another conference over at the beam.
They're agreeing on the start value, but not on the score of that routine. They're almost 4/10 off. Next tumbling pass, punch front layout into a front full. That was Samantha Nickel for Northern Illinois.
Following the meeting at the beam, this is the second meeting during the beam competition for the Golden Flashes among the judges. Following this discussion, we will see Ashley Morgan. Shannon, this early in the season, we've seen a number of conferences between the judges on the bars and the beam. Something that happens often?
Well, remember, this is their first meet of the season, too, so they're getting back into
getting the rust off.
Judging mode. Every year there are some changes in how the scoring is done, so they need to keep up to date on those, as well as just get used to, you know, they're really multitasking. They're watching this routine, they're scoring it, they're judging it all at the same time, and so it's not like some other sports where you can do a replay and see it over again. You've got to do it real time.
Yeah, and that is an excellent point. Their eyes are on the athlete, their eyes are on the beam, and they're writing down, I believe 9.6 was the score?
Yeah, one judge had a 9.45 for that routine, which I find it hard to find that many deductions in what was a gorgeous beam routine from Gabby Riley.
This is Ashley Morgan, the junior out of Roswell, Georgia. Career high of 9.85, occurring twice last season.
She's so fun to watch. She's got really aggressive. She's got great tumbling. A little too much power on that front toss. She looks like she's going to do it again and connect it to a back handspring. That's her tumbling series.
Talk to some athletes about gymnasts on the skill that they're most proud of developing. Ashley Morgan said the skill that she's most proud of is discipline.
That is an overall skill, right? And so being able to train at this level for long periods of time and staying healthy, having the discipline and the choices that you make for everything from what you eat to how much you sleep and how you take care of your body goes all into these routines. That was a gorgeous front aerial. Back handspring, 1.5 twist. Little step on her landing. Great difficulty there. She had a few balance troubles, but she's going to iron those out, and I'm sure be a solid performance for Kent State on beam.
We'll go back over to the floor. This is Michaela Brown. Brown, the junior out of Sewanee, Georgia. Brown appeared 9 times on floor last season for the Huskies in qualifying score of 9.8.
Got dynamic floor music. First tumbling pass, double back pike. Great body position, good power.
Season high for Michaela Brown in this competition last season, a 9.85 at Illinois against the Illini.
Round off 1.5, punch front.
Ashley Morgan with a 9.475 on beam for Kent State. Final tumbling pass for Brown.
Double back tuck. Hard to do at the end of a long floor routine, but she had great energy.
So Morgan with a 9.475, Kent State with two of the strongest beamer, actually the strongest beamer coming up, Heidi Schultz. And scores a little low, perhaps, for Kent State.
A little low across the board. Ashley had a few balance problems and a step on her landing, but I think what is going to be more exciting is the consistency that these athletes have showed today. They've all stayed on their beam. They've all hit their first routine of the season, and so that will propel them through the rest of the year. Heidi Schultz, career high 9.925. You are looking at the defending Mid-American Conference beam champion. She's a senior. She's got lots of experience up here, so we're going to look to this routine to really anchor the team on this event.
Again, she's not only All-MAC, but she's also one of the academic All-Americans, All-MAC.
Tumbling back handspring layout, step out, way up in the air. Back handspring, 1.5 twist, stuck landing, and that's why she's the anchor of this beam team.
You know, it's interesting about Heidi Schultz. I asked her who has been the most influential person in her life, and she said her twin sister.
Who's also a gymnast, right?
Yeah, she said she taught her to be competitive because she's the one person that Heidi absolutely despises losing to. A little sibling rivalry, if you will. So Heidi Schultz, the anchor of that Kent State beam team. Kent State will have, I believe, 2 exhibitions, Grace Newrack and Taylor Archambault. We'll get some work in on beam before Kent State moves over to floor. This is Drake White, the anchor of this Husky floor team.
We just saw a 9.75 for Michaela Brown on floor.
Drake White, the sophomore out of Indianapolis.
First pass, front tuck, right into a double back.
White appearing 9 times on the floor last season for the Huskies, an NQS of 9.76. Season high 9.825. That occurring back in February of last year against Eastern Michigan.
Yeah, she's a powerful tumbler. I don't know if you noticed on that first pass, really close to going out of bounds. Kent State just got a new floor carpet, which Coach Bryce Biggin was telling us about earlier before the meet, and it shows if the gymnasts are staying inbounds or not.
Heidi Schultz, the score is posted for her beam performance, a 9.8 for Schultz.
It's a great score to start the season. Beautiful double back pike.
Yeah, Drake White was showing some great power, great height. Good performance by Drake White. Again, the sophomore out of Indianapolis and the anchor of this Husky floor team. That rounds out the competitors in the third rotation. We will now have a few exhibitions. This is Grace Nurek up next for Kent State.
Next up on beam for the Golden Flashes, Grace Nurek.
Grace, the junior out of Cleveland, North Royalton High School.
Grace is a local favorite. She's from the Gymnastics Club 5-star. And lots of those young gymnasts come and see their former teammates in action here at Kent.
Coach Phobes with a lot of confidence in Grace's ability on beam.
Beautiful side semi. Two switch leg leaps in a row. Backhand spring layout, step out. Really solid on her landing. Gainer full twist off the side, stuck landing. Wow, Kent State is really showing their depth on this event. For that routine to be an exhibition routine, that means that they've got 6 solid routines in front of her that she's trying to work her way into the lineup.
Up next on floor for Northern Illinois,
This will be Audrey Brenner in an exhibition, the sophomore out of Fond du Lac, Wisconsin for the Huskies. And that's a great thing, Shannon, right, to have is depth on your team because you're really working week in and week out to get into that lineup.
And they push each other and motivate each other. It's really good to see. Front layout, right into a Rudy.
Yeah, one of the things you'll know as a Kent State Golden Flash gymnastics, it's not about the individual, it is all about the team in putting the best athletes on the floor week in and week out. And so that definitely motivates you to do your best. And as you said just a few minutes ago, Shannon, taking care of your body, getting the rest you need, having the right diet.
Yeah, it all matters. And what's really fun about it being such a team sport at this level is that the gymnasts didn't always have that in club gymnastics. A lot of times it's so individual. They may not have this level of teammates to train with. And so for them to get into an environment, they can really thrive when there's so many others that are as talented as they are. The landing. But finishes with a smile.
So that was Audrey Brenner, exhibition for the Huskies. Now we'll go back over to the beam, and this is the freshman, Taylor Archambault. Again, we saw Taylor earlier in the meet. on bars in an exhibition.
Nice high front aerial, not able to control the landing, but stayed up there. There's a back handspring layout, step out. Dropped her left shoulder off to the side and is going to take a fall on that one.
Always memorable as a freshman performing, whether exhibition or otherwise, here at the Mack Center in front of family and friends for the first time.
Yeah, in her college debut, there's a lot of nerves going on. She's going to learn to control that and be able to work under pressure. And that becomes fuel for training in the future, you know, knowing that you've got to work hard and overcome the adversity. Did a nice round off 1.5 twisting dismount, one step on the landing. Lots of potential for that beam routine.
So that will take us over to floor, the final performer of the afternoon for the Huskies on floor. That is Dawson Salih. Salih competed on floor last season, all but one event. And that was actually, believe it or not, against the Golden Flashes at Northern Illinois, an NQS of 9.745 for Dawson Salih.
Dawson Salih.
Season high of 9.8, and that occurring at the MAC Championships. Here's Dawson.
Opens with a punch front double full.
So Dawson Salih wraps things up in rotation number 3 here at this Mid-American Conference opener between the Huskies of Northern Illinois and the Golden Flashes of Kent State. We'll move on to the 4th and final rotation here. Kent State will end on floor. NIU over to the beam. Well, Kent State looking to build on their success over the previous 2 seasons and advance as a team to the NCAA regionals this year. So let's take a quick look, Shannon, back at 2025.
In 2025, Kent State finished just 4/10 out of first place for the MAC Championship, behind Central Michigan. It was Central's 19th MAC Championship title, and that's always been an amazing rivalry between Central and Kent. So Kent needs to focus on doing all the small things correctly. If they can perfect the small things, you will see the scores increase over last year. They were.
I don't know if there's a person that Zoe's met that she didn't like, or anyone that she met that wouldn't like her. Great personality.
Really fun. I wish the audience could see the crowd right now, because you can see her dad from a mile away.
Yes.
Wearing a sparkling gold suit jacket with some yellow hair.
Yeah, and he's worn that to every home meet, and I'm sure every road meet as well.
He's their #1 fan.
So Zoe Rankin, a season high of 9.7, that occurring at Illinois State early in the 2025 season. Nickel again, a senior out of Yorktown, Virginia. Nickel starting off the Husky Sunbeam.
Switch leg leap into a switch half. Back handspring layout, step out. A little bit of trouble with her balance on the landing. Back handspring gainer full off the side, stuck landing. So a solid start off routine for Northern Illinois on balance beam.
Exercise for the Golden Flashes, Zoe Rankin.
Here's Zoe, the senior out of Bellefonte, Pennsylvania.
You can see her personality in her choreography. Opening tumbling pass, front tuck through a double back.
Zoe last year appearing only 4 times on floor, leading off the season on floor in 2026. Like I said, her career high is 9.9 at Central Michigan in 24. So she definitely has the potential to put up big numbers for this floor team to start things off. You see the Rankin family in the stands raising the roof right now.
Here she goes. Double back pike. Huge. Great kickoff routine for Kent State.
Hugs all around, smiles all around for the Golden Flashes on floor. Here's Riff now on beam. This is the 3rd event Riff has competed in today. There are no all-arounders in today's competition.
Side aerial right into another side aerial. Unique connection there. Nice leap combination. Gainer pike off the end, stuck landing. Excellent lead off routine for Northern Illinois.
So Riff, the freshman, turning in a big performance for the Huskies on beam.
Really solid.
See if the Huskies can build on that. Up next for Kent State is Nastya Runitskaya on floor. And like Rankin, appeared only 4 times in this competition last season. Be number 2 in the lineup today, opening day. Season high, or career high of 9.9 against Eastern Michigan back in 24. 9.875 is Zoe Rankin's score on floor. Good start for Kent State.
That's a great score. I was going to say it's going to be hard to find some deductions in that routine. She does such clean gymnastics and really shows control on her landings.
So that ties her career high, 9.875 for Zoe Rankin. So Nastia, one of those preseason selections of gymnasts to watch.
Yeah, huge double back pike. Opens up that routine with a big tumbling pass. Round off 1.5, punch front layout. So clean and tight in the air.
Kent State looking solid early on in the floor. Again, Nastia number 2 in the lineup.
She's strong heading into this last pass where she does double back tuck. Really difficult to do at the end of a long floor routine. But another great routine for Kent.
The senior out of Waukesha, Wisconsin. I misspoke. 9.875 for Zoe Rankin did not tie a career high. Her career high is 9.9, so my apologies on that.
Well, it's only the first meet of the season. She's got a few more to improve on.
Over to Bean. This is Jocelyn Harback.
Triple series, 2 back handsprings right into a layout step out, using all 16 feet of that beam.
Interesting, Harback did not compete in beam last season for the Huskies. Ranking into the lineup here in week number 1 for Coach Nita Teague.
Round off 1.5 twists. 1 step back on her dismount, but that was a great routine, good difficulty. And I'm sure we'll be seeing more of her in Northern Illinois' lineup.
So for Kent State, it's going to be Alana Mast on floor. And we'll see if the freshman out of Pelham, Alabama throws that front double full on the floor. Again, another freshman contributing to the opening day lineup for the Golden Flashes.
Yeah, this is a routine I've been looking forward to. I got to watch her warm up and really impressed with her front tumbling and her choreography here. Punch front double full.
Trained at Legacy Gymnastics down in Alabama. That Nastia Runitskaya score of 9.75 on floor.
Punch front layout into a Rudy. Great debut for that freshman.
That should be a good score for Lana Mast as the Mac Center here gives her a great ovation in her debut on floor for Kent State right here at the Mac Center. Over to beam now. This is, I believe, McKenna Brooks. Brooks, a freshman out of Kokomo, Indiana.
Backhand spring layout step out. Looked like she was high enough in the air, but lost a little pressure off of her front foot on the landing.
Brooks, a specialist on beam. I'm sorry, Shannon.
Powerful front tuck there. Good tumbling, round off 1.5 twist for her dismount.
So Kent State with 3 remaining on floor: Jersey Bingman, Ashley Morgan, and the anchor Charlie Boehner. Jersey Bingman, the sophomore out of Poquoson, Virginia, career high of 9.85 against Ball State last March. Last season, Bingman competed 7 times on floor. She's a sports administration major.
Next up on floor exercise for the Golden Flashes, Jersey Bateman.
Jersey's first tumbling pass, front handspring, double front full.
Able to stay in bounds.
Comes back with a round off 1.5 twist to a punch front layout. Beautiful form. Last pass here, finishes with a Rudy, a 1.5 twist. Very nice.
Jersey Bingman will pass the baton next to Ashley Morgan on floor for Kent State, but not before we see Drake White of the Huskies on beam. Again, White, that's sophomore out of Indianapolis. Competed twice last year on beam for the Huskies. Season high of 9.6, that at Florida in the opening weekend of that 25 season.
Backhand spring layout, step out. Side aerial landing on 2 feet. Takes a lot of power to do that skill. Pitch kick into a switch side. She was a little bit off balance, headed backwards, but able to save it and stay on the beam. inward full turn. You don't see that very often, but it is one of the major requirements all these gymnasts need to do, that full turn. Finishes with a round off 1.5 twist. Little hop on her landing. With a good save in there, and she stayed on the beam.
So that's Drake White of the Huskies, looking to build on that performance. Next on beam would be Michaela Brown before we see Ashley Morgan. Morgan, the junior, again out of Roswell, Georgia. Career high of 9.875 in this event. Jersey Bingman recorded a 9.75 according to the judges in her floor exercise.
Opens up with a punch front layout right into a Rudy. Plenty of height.
Morgan appearing only 3 times last year in this event.
Great split leaps, shows over 180-degree split. Comes back with a double back pike.
Ashley Morgan, a good performance there for Kent State. I still go back to the skill we talked about it a few minutes ago that she felt was important. She learned that discipline, and how true is that when you advance from club to the college ranks? There are a lot of distractions.
Yeah, it's more important to develop that discipline than it is for any individual skill. So I think that was a smart answer.
That was a smart answer. I'll give her that much. Yeah, great job on the floor by Ashley Morgan. Ashley also performing on beam for the Golden Flashes. This is now Michaela Brown, the anchor of this Husky beam team. Brown, the junior, out of Solwani, Georgia. Brown competed in all but 3 meets in this competition last season.
Wow. Standing layout, step out, layout, step out. That's a very unusual combination. It takes so much power to do that. Excellent.
Season high last year for Brown of a 9.85. That was at Western Michigan in a MAC meet. Posted an NQS last year of 9.775.
Nice switch side lead. Finishes with a round off 1.5 twists. Little under, had to hop back. But again, that the highlight of that routine for me was that standing layout, step out, step out.
And here is the anchor of this Kent State floor team, Charlie Boehner. The senior out of Milton, Georgia, transferred to Kent State from Temple. Her career high in this event, 9.875, occurring twice last year. Boehner, one of those real fun gymnasts to watch.
Comes her opening tumbling pass. Punch, double full.
when asked about certain challenges, Boehner saying, you know, at this point in her career, her greatest challenge this year is dealing with the fact that this is her last season. So she's just looking out to go out and have fun and not put too much pressure on herself.
Yeah, I think a lot of collegiate athletes feel that way. It's been their identity for so long, and hard to imagine what life will be like after gymnastics.
But in the moment, she's looking to enjoy it week in and week out.
Got a great routine going here on floor. Front tuck, run up back handspring, double back tuck. Oh. Did you see that landing?
She felt it. She knew it was coming. Great job. Great performance by Charlie Boehner. Kent State floods the floor for the senior.
So much fun.
For the Huskies, Dawson Sully.
Here's Dawson Sully. This is an exhibition for the Huskies over on beam now. Kent State will have no exhibition on floor.
I think it'd be hard to follow that stick on her double back. Back handspring layout, step out on the beam.
Sully, not in the lineup today for the Huskies other than the exhibition, did compete in all events last year on beam for NIU.
And is looking really strong. I'm sure she's working her way back into this lineup.
Yeah,
Side aerial.
her season high last year, twice, 9.775 and NQS of 9.7. But looking pretty good on the beam.
Dismounts with the round off 1.5, a little bit off to the side, hopped over to the left.
So Kent State with no other performances on the floor. We'll keep it on the beam, and it's going to be Maria King. And now we'll see Maria King.
Lots of power, but a little bit off to the left side. Just got her front foot down on that back handspring layout step out. She's going to take a second and regroup. Nice full turn.
We ask that you stay with us here. After King's performance on beam, we'll give you the final numbers of rotation 4 and the medalists for each event here today in the Mid-American Conference opener.
King getting ready for her dismount. Round off 1.5. Hop on that landing. But she's got lots of power, just got to learn to control it in the air.
Yeah, strong dismount, great height on the dismount.